Thin people, when you decide what to eat and how much to eat, do you actively think I need to eat this way to stay thin, or is it just kind of intuitive? Don't have to think about it, but if you asked my friends, they'll all say I eat a lot. It's just while they see me eat a whole 15-inch pizza when out for dinner, they don't see me skip breakfast and lunch the next day due to not feeling hungry. I regularly think thoughts like, I want to indulge next weekend, so I should eat healthier and lower calorie food today. Or I've gained a little weight, I need to make more time to exercise over the next several days. Or husband is making pasta for dinner tonight, I'll walk jog an extra mile, etc. Staying thin is absolutely not intuitive for me. I eat as much as I feel like having, and when I'm full I stop eating. One of the generally unchecked privileges of being naturally slim is never giving any real thought to portions whatsoever. I pretty much do the opposite. I don't really care that much if I'm hungry, so oftentimes I will feel slightly hungry, but keep doing whatever I'm doing for 5-7 hours. Every few months I'll force myself to eat every 4 hours for a month or so. Makes me plump back up a bit, then I go back to not caring until I get a bit too slim, rinse and repeat. Some naturally thin people, they usually have a low desire for food and eat less and slowly. Sometimes they don't even need to think about their intake because they are full after a few bites. I just don't eat much because I don't really get hungry, if that makes sense. You'll see some food on TV or wherever, think now that looks good, go make or buy it, eat 3 bites, then don't want it anymore. Even when I was younger and could eat more if I stuffed while watching the tube or Thanksgiving or something, I'd get sick and throw up from being too full. Nowadays, I set an alarm to remind me it's time to eat at least a couple bites of something, anything. I love food and tend to eat what I feel like eating, as much as I feel like eating. Unless the food is really good, I tend to get full and then not want to eat anymore. The thought of eating more feels off-putting. If I've been eating a lot of crap, I truly crave vegetables and salads. If my iron is low, I crave red meat. I feel like my natural instincts tend to point me towards a healthy, balanced diet. I am often surprised by how much other people have to think about portion sizes and what they eat. The one time I had to be really strict about what I was eating for medical reasons, it was awful, and I would obsess over the foods I couldn't eat. It really felt like it messed with my head in a bad way. I'm often surprised by how careful and deliberate other women are about their diets. I think some people, whether by genetics or the environment they grew up in, have body chemistry that makes it much more difficult to regulate what they are eating. And some people just have different body types that want to be a certain size and shape, and it can take really a lot of effort to change that. I think you can develop healthier habits and senses for your body's needs, like through practicing intuitive eating, over time. I found it super intuitive. If I cut out processed foods, I'll crave a certain amount of food and certain veggies, meat, fruit, and just filling those cravings keeps me satiated and calorie balanced. I eat when I'm hungry, and only when I'm hungry. I'm not trained to eat every mealtime. Growing up, poor privileges. I've always been naturally thin. What I see is things that helped me. 1. Minimal distractions during meals. Talking with the people on the table is fine, but we never ate, and I still don't in front of the TV. 2. I stop eating when I'm full. My parents never made me eat the full plate, although they always emphasized gauging appetite correctly and not helping myself to more than I could eat. 3. I eat very slowly, even for my own country's standards. 4. Balanced plate. For me, the meal doesn't feel complete without at least a couple of vegetables, either as part of the dish itself, for example in a stew, or on the side like a salad. I can't force myself to eat much once I fill up. I hate how thin I am, so it's definitely not a conscious effort. I probably average 1,200 calories or less per day. The one time I successfully calorie counted, I was targeting 3,300 calories per day. Alongside daily cardio and such, I gained about 13 pounds in 2 months. Heaviest I'd ever been at 130, likely the best shape of my life, but had only lasted about those 2 months before I stopped eating so well. It only took about 6 months or so for me to slip back down to around 120. Bottomed out at 112 pounds at one point. Shit sucks. Edit. I also tend to not always eat when I'm somewhat hungry. Gotten used to being on an empty stomach. It's not such a mind-sharpening thing on such low calories. Surprisingly, at my lowest, in combination with some life stressors I was going through, I managed to not eat anything for a week. Nothing really came of that. I eat whenever I'm hungry and pick whatever I like. I'm prone to dropping weight when I'm stressed, so sometimes I remember to include a protein shake or something for extra calories, but mostly it's anything goes. The only thing I vaguely worry about is sugar, but I'm yet to do anything about it. I eat when I am hungry, but But I actively seek vegetables because I literally feel weak when I eat unbalanced meals frequently. The only time I actively restricted was when eating became a habit instead of addressing hunger cues. I needed to reset by oversleeping on a weekend, so my body remembered to feel hungry when I really am hungry and not bored lol. I don't really think about it much, just eat when I'm hungry. It's mostly intuitive for me, I eat until I'm full. I tend to eat small portions naturally, so it's never been an issue. I don't count calories, but I do pay attention to portion sizes. I eat what I want, but stop when I feel satisfied. It's just how I've always eaten. I don't actively try to stay thin.